So let's start with a quick introduction where you introduce yourself. So you can cover your name, your nationality, your school, and curriculum.
Okay. So my name is Mohammad Ali. I go to Sharjah American International School in Dubai. It follows an American curriculum, and my nationality is United Arab Emirates.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit about which university are you finally proceeding to, and what is the program you will be studying?
So the university that I'm going to is the University of British Columbia in Canada, and the program that I will be studying is the Bachelor of Science program in Applied Biology.
Perfect. Okay. So, Mohammed, could you also elaborate a little bit? Tell me what all options did you apply to through our agency, and which ones have you gone through, and why have you shortlisted UBC in particular?
So when I first applied, I chose 5 Canadian universities. And what I did while applying is that I didn't choose the same exact major for all universities. I wanted to keep my options wide and I wanted to have a wide set of options. So I applied to 5 universities, as I've mentioned, which are the University of British Columbia, the University of Waterloo, the University of Alberta, University of Calgary, and finally the University of Guelph. And I applied for a lot of programs, as I've mentioned, but most of them were around the biological sciences. And it was a difficult choice waiting up until, I believe, May to receive almost all of my offers. And it was I had my own deadline until May, even though there were still offers that would come out after May, but that is because as international students who are going to Canada, we need to apply for the study permit. And that on its own takes a lot of time. So by the time it was May, I received offers from some, not all of the universities, and UBC obviously was one of them. And the reason I decided to pursue my studies in UBC is because not only is UBC known for its rankings and everything, but it's a very, very good university for science. It's situated in a very good city, and it has a lot of outdoor activities, such as they have their own forests and farms and lots of hands-on experience. They have a great co-op program for students to work while they're studying, and yeah.
Perfect. That's great. So, I think from the beginning you wanted to study in Canada. So I just wanted to know, did you even consider other options, or could you also let us know why in particular Canada was your preferred destination for education?
Okay. When I was applying for universities at the end of grade 11, I was looking at a lot of different universities. I was looking at Canadian universities, which was obviously my priority, but I also had backup plans in some universities in Europe and some universities in the United Arab Emirates. But the main reason I applied for Canadian universities is because, of course, not only do they have excellent education, but also in Canada, they also have great co-op programs, which is something not really available at the rest of the world. And co-op is basically paid internship. So in the rest of the world, when you're doing an internship, you don't really get that paid part, which helps paying tuition as well. And also in Canada, there's also a lot of opportunities for postgraduate work opportunities, which is really good. And there's a lot of hands-on experience and there's a lot of diversity of science programs in Canada too. So it's not just biology, chemistry, physics, but there's also everything that's in between.
Perfect. So I think you have done your good research about Canada. That's why you really like it and you've shortlisted. So great. Okay. Could you also, coming away from your university and country option, there are a lot of agencies, educational consultancies that offer study abroad options. Even in Canada. So I wanted to know from all the options, what made you shortlist Gyanberry? What was something that you really liked and you wanted to proceed with us?
Besides all the universities, there's also stalls for all the agencies. There's Gyanberry, there's IDP, there's so many to name a few. And when you first go, they always ask you for your name and email so they can continue contacting you and sending you emails. And at that time, I was really just new to the applying to universities and all that. I wasn't really actually thinking I was going to sign up with any of them. But I received a lot of feedback from people within my school who had signed up with Gyanberry, and I received feedback from my own counselor who said Gyanberry is one of the best agencies out there and they really help students. And I did my own research. I went on YouTube. There were some student testimonials from university fairs before, and I checked your website. And I remember you were the first one to contact me from Gyanberry, which I felt Gyanberry had better connections with their students than other agencies. I've heard Gyanberry is more readily available to contact their students, while other agencies it's more difficult to be in touch with your counselors. And I just felt more comfortable signing up with Gyanberry.
That is very, very nice. Again, my next question is very related to what I was just going to say. That you had your session. I think, if I'm not wrong, 30th May last year. Okay, very early you registered with us, and we had like a Zoom call session. So I just wanted to know, I'm sure you might have done your part of research before getting in touch with us. But after getting in touch with us, how helpful were we? Like, did you get all the details you were seeking for? Did you have clarity about the processes, etc.?
It was actually extremely helpful because when I first signed up, I hadn't really made up my mind on. He gave me a list of different universities and we discussed different options. And then upon registering throughout the summer before applications started, I remember Ms. Sukanya really helped. She sent emails for each university that I decided to apply to with all the specific requirements, when we should start, all the documents that are needed. So it was very helpful in, the transparency between me and Gyanberry. It was very helpful.
Perfect. So could you let us know, since you've been through this process, what makes a successful application? Is there any tips and suggestions that you would like to provide to your juniors who would now look and go and apply to universities?
Yeah, totally. Now I will specifically speak on Canadian applications, but I feel like this might apply to other applications too. When applying, obviously, it is a stressful thing. You don't know if you're going to get into it or not. But what I always say is when you're going to apply, even if you're confident you will get into your dream university or this one university that you really want to go to, you never really know what happens because marks aren't the only factor that goes into your decision. So always keep lots of choices available. Apply to several universities, whether it's on one country or map out across the world, and have several options, several programs that you're considering, because when you're applying, it's the beginning of your senior year or maybe at the end of your junior year. So you don't really know what you want to do. And that's what I did, is when I applied to those 5 universities in Canada, I applied to several programs. They were all similar in some way, but they were all several, so that when I get my offers, I have options. And that's my advice for everyone who's applying. And I also have to say that don't really worry much about having enough extracurriculars or the highest marks, because that's not really important. I know people who have, for example, 80s and they got accepted to a top university. So it's not really about your marks. It's also about the essay which you're going to do for some application.
Thank you. That's a very elaborative point that you've covered it off, and I think you rightly mentioned it's not just one aspect in an application that they have to focus on. There are a lot of aspects. Different universities will have different requirements, so they just need to rightly read through it, read the guidelines, and then just follow it. So that's correct. Also, can you just kind of let me know of your overall experience, like from the time you have actually registered with us, or with the assistance that you've got for the motivation letter, the statement of purpose, or doing your applications. How was it for you? How was it working with our admission team? Could you just give us a few pointers on that too?
I first got emails about every single university, all the different requirements, everything I had to do before applications. And my counselors, they were extremely helpful. They were always there to answer any questions I had. When we first did my applications, I remember for 2 of the universities, there was an essay component. And when I submitted that, because also when I first started my process, I was unfamiliar with the experience, as the majority of students are. But I just felt at ease knowing that I was getting help from Gyanberry.
That's very, very pleasing to know that, we were able to help you and there was no issues during your applications and all your queries were clarified. So then we're very happy knowing that. Or if you want to tell us about a certain instance that has made you happy, please feel free to share it with us.
Okay, so it was very helpful. I do not regret any of it. I would do it again. It was really a pleasure to work with my counselors who were Miss Nancy and Miss Sukanya. They were extremely helpful. I remember again with the essay component for one of the university applications in which they constantly gave me feedback to improve it. And I remember I spent I think it was even like after office hours, Miss Sukanya called me to give me feedback. And I really appreciated that. I understand that it was just I really appreciated all the help I could receive. I could tell they were very experienced. And I'm really glad because I got the off, even before applying, UBC was my dream university. And I'm very, very, very glad that Gyanberry actually helped me improve my application and do everything possible in order to increase my chances of getting accepted, which thankfully, sorry, I got accepted, and that's really great.
That's very nice to know. I didn't know it was your dream university and you got into your dream university. What more than that would anyone want? So that's very nice.
Yeah.
Of course, we have been there throughout the process, but again, it's again your efforts, your hard work that you have been showing throughout the documents that you've sent to us. Universities like you in your efforts, and of course, our guidance was there, support was there, but the final person to submit the essays and all was you. So you've done a good job
Thank
too,
you.
and it's a big achievement to get into one of the top ranked universities in Canada. So I wish you all the best and congratulations once more.
Thank you. Thank you
To
so
you
much.
and your family. I hope you have fun in Canada and you can just approach us if you want any kind of assistance in the future. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, and I really appreciate all the help I got from Gyanberry.
It was.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.